What's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in today. I have Kai Hanley here, who did extremely good job with a road deck at this past month's, well, I should say December Nationals, at the finals in Adelaide. My man, take us away. This deck is awesome. So the people won't be expecting this, so it's gonna be a good profile. So fire it away, man. How'd your day go? How'd you feel Nats went for you overall?
Nats was a blast.
Yeah.
Like in main event, I ended up going 5-4, just missing out on top cut. And then side event, I actually went 5-2, ended up coming ninth. So I just bubbled that spot.
Yeah, that's insane. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like main event. Like I lost. My losses were to some good people. Like I lost to actually all two of my losses were to Crimson decks, and then I did also lose to a Green Cooler, ended up coming second place. So at least I lost to a good player, which yeah knocked me out of the running for that one.
Well, fighting an uphill battle against the meta is definitely a task, and bringing a deck that did as well as it did, you got to be pleased with yourself. On top of that note, yeah, how do you feel like what are the matchups like for you? What decks did you go up against other than Crimson,
Uh,
obviously?
yeah, so so I got to verse Agents of Destruction, which was a interesting round one, I guess. But yeah, that matchup's just free win. Yeah, if I go second, like their counterplays can't hit me, and
Yep,
because everything I play is 6 drop or it's got deflect, so
yep.
doesn't affect me. Um, and yeah, he was unfortunate. His secret rare was his last life, so
Oh,
um, didn't get to stop me with Pan. I did get to verse one Red Sin in main event.
yep.
I won that, lost a dice roll, so it's like the entire event I was just praying to lose the dice. So this is a go second deck. Um, yeah, it's I got to verse mate playing yellow ape coup, and then also another friend playing blue Gohan, which I managed to kill him through two Protector of the Peoples in the same turn. So 10k gains wasn't enough.
Yeah, that's huge. That's great. I mean, especially with the amount of 30k beaters you get out there anyway, I would
Yeah,
assume.
like,
Um, that's awesome.
yeah.
So, overall, and the side event as well. I believe you did.
Yeah, so side event, I lost to Ryan Aquilina. He was playing Red Sin, lost to him. And then I lost to Moman, who came second place playing Hachiak.
Hatchet.
So in both events, one of my losses was to the second place player.
Wow. So that's still good, you see. Like, and I mean, another rogue deck that you probably wouldn't think you'd go up against, being Hachiak in this sort of format. Um,
Yeah.
but regardless, solid effort, man. So yeah, let's see if you want to take it away
Yeah.
with the profile. Give people an insight
Um,
look
so,
to the deck.
so obviously, yeah, I was playing Ss4 Goku Guardian History. On the front, it's just a burst 3. When you attack, you take a life and draw a card. And then Wakens at 4, untap 1, draw 1. On this side, it's inherent double strike, which people seem to forget about. Permanent gains 5k for every 8 black battle cards in my warp. And then activate main, I return 4 cards from my warp to the drop to draw a card.
Yeah, solid.
All right. So now we'll start with just the basics. So every black sane leader runs these. So 4 of each of these, self-explanatory. Time agents. It's like you mill them, they're free to play, and then this is Supreme Kai is just a pseudo super combo.
Yeah,
So and the amount of times where if I attack going 1, mill 3, mill the trunks, I'll take a life, so put myself to 6, and then I'll just combo the trunks, and then it's a 15k on the swing. And then if by some chance I mill another one turn 1, put myself to 5, guarantees a turn to awaken.
yeah, solid.
Yeah. And then on the note of self milling turn 1, I run 4 Ravagers. So this guy is like turn 1, play him, mill 3, just it's 15k crit.
As what I
And
love.
then
Crit's always great pressure. Crit's always great pressure,
turn 1,
especially early
you can
game.
play 2 crit cards a turn.
Mm.
It's nuts. Then on that same note, we play 3 of the belligerents, which was my other turn 1 play going second.
Yep. Solid
So
card, love it.
So this card's new out of the latest anniversary box.
Mhm.
It's a 7 cost board with 20k power. It's got deflect, but it's permanent. If I've sent a card from my warp to the drop this turn, its energy cost is reduced by 6. So it's a 1 cost if I've overwhelmed. And then it's got an auto, limit 1. When this card is played, I choose up to 2 of my opponent's battle cards, send them to the warp, and then this card gains crit for the turn. At the end of my opponent's next turn, they get those 2 cards back with their skills negated. Now, its auto is limit 1, but playing it for 1 is not. So I can technically play 2 of these turn 2 if I've got the energy. Only 1 will have crit, but it's still added pressure.
It's still early game pressure, which is huge.
Yeah,
And
just early game pressure. Like you're trying to put them to like 2 or 3 life turn 2, so
wow, okay.
yeah. And then more overarm for Beyond All Limits. Self-explanatory. This card adds pretty much any card from my warp back to my hand outside of the Supreme Kai. So
One of the best overwhelm cards. One of the best. Maybe.
one of the best. I've got a better one coming up
Yep.
soon. So and then extra cards, 2 support, 2 super Kamehamehas, and then 3 petrifications.
So now these are the
um,
only extra cards that you run in the deck?
yes. So
So it's not a
7
lot.
extra cards.
Yep.
Didn't need more than that. Petrification was just for the blue matchups. It shuts down the blue Gohan secret rare if they haven't used its activate battle.
Yep.
If they haven't used its activate main before swinging, which majority of them do for some reason. They just forget this card exists. And yeah, it just fully punishes them. Also get against Red Sin because negate the triple striker even if it's got barrier. And then yeah, so petrification, best black negate.
I find it just such a solid card for that fact to just negate your opponent's card skills. It's so huge.
Ignoring barrier, and it's
Ignoring
like
barrier, just it's
it
so good.
it also doesn't have to negate the attacking card.
Yeah.
You discard a card and choose one of their battle cards, ignoring barrier.
That's why
So
it's
it's
so
like
good. Yeah.
if they've got a bomb on the board and they think it's safe because it's got barrier and they swing with something else, oh yeah, I'll negate that, and then I'll negate the skills of your bomb, and it also can't attack and it can't be played in the combo area.
Yeah.
So
It's a dead
and its
card now.
skills are negated. So it's like it completely puts a freeze on it.
Yeah.
So but then moving on, we've got a unison, which we run Demagra.
So what made you choose this unison, my man?
So this unit is really good because of the amount of overwhelm in the deck. Gaining Wormhole is a big plus side. It is also searchable off of one of the new Z battle cards out of the anniversary box, which I'll get into shortly.
Cool.
But yeah, when you overwhelm, burst 1, gain Wormhole, which lets you overwhelm a second time. And since most of my overwhelms have they're 30k beaters, you're applying a lot of pressure, kind of like the old Dark Broly days.
Yeah, you see.
And plus 1, return 2 battle cards from warp to drop, fueling another overwhelm.
Yeah, very frightening.
The plus 1 on this works really well with the activate main on your leader. So your plus 1 on unison, returning 2, activate main on leader, return 4 to draw a card. You now have 6 in your drop. You can overwhelm at one of your 6 drops.
Love it.
So you don't have to combo to fuel your drop. So
yeah, which is making you, expend resources in your hand, right? You want to keep your hand healthy. So, it's really good.
Yeah. And it's like the only reason I managed to do well with this deck was resource management.
Yep.
So, all right. One of my overwhelms, I ran Trunks Solitary Guardian.
Cool. What made you run 2 of this guy?
So this is an old card that people forgot about. This is just an overwhelm for 20k. When it's played, I draw a card and it gains 5. So basically, if I have no cards in my drop, activate main on leader, draw a card, overwhelm into this, draw a card. So my overwhelm has just gotten me 2 cards, and then it's a 25k beater.
Yep.
So it's just in case I don't have access to the unison to put the other 2 in there, because a lot of people do like to bully the unison since he's only 9k.
Yeah, it's just another resource for that.
Yeah, and it replaces itself, so it's just
Yeah.
free. I run 2 of the Dark Broly overall.
The big boy.
Self, yeah, big boy self-explanatory. This card's seeing a lot of play in almost any deck now, just because it's a free spot removal. And funnily enough, in this deck, the amount of times where I tap 2 to play it from the warp, it was just way too frequent. It's like everything in my deck I want to have as 1 or less energy. So tapping 2 for this was easily manageable.
So you get more value out of that card.
Yeah. And then run 3 smoke dragons. Sadly, I had to return one to my friend that I was borrowing.
Yep.
Yeah, another self-explanatory card. This card's insane. Deflect 20k. Unfortunately, it can't attack. I wish it didn't have that skill.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's not a shadow dragon.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? It doesn't have the trait.
It's not relevant to this deck. Like I wanted to build shadow dragons, but then I found out, this card's not a shadow dragon. Like, what the hell, Bender? It's like it would have been like the best thing about it. Auto, when it's played, I get to choose a skill. The most common skill I use, I would burst 3 and draw 2. If I burst any of my time agents off of this skill, I draw 2 and I get to play them cards.
Yep.
So it's like free real estate. It's like it replaces itself by letting me draw 2 cards. It does also let me warp unisons that specify cost 2 or less that have 7 or fewer markers. Almost never had to use that because I didn't really verse any decks that required me to get rid of their unisons. Because majority of the time I'll just ignore them because I'm just going for the face anyway.
Yeah, because you got more of
and
an
then
aggro
it can
approach.
also, yeah, and it can also ignore ignoring barrier warp a battle card that's 7 or less.
Yeah.
So that also didn't really come up, but it's like it's nice having it. It's like having a card that universal just makes it a staple tool in any deck, and every black deck.
Yeah, well, it just makes it even better with your deck, right?
Yeah. It's like I'm more than happy to tap 2, play this, burst 3, draw 2, overall for free, combo this off. It's like it's still 5k combo power. Honestly, I think it should have. I don't think it should have combo power.
I mean, it makes it even more, versatile, right? So it's not a deck. It's not a deck card, so it's good.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah. So, and then another new card that I'm playing, I actually run 2 of the new Gohan rare.
This is a good card.
Oh, very good. Yeah. So this card I would actually consider bumping up to 3 or 4. It's just such a solid card. It's like activate. So it's an auto while it's in the drop. If my leader is black or Master's Teachings, if my life's 4 or less, I can take a life, bottom deck a card from my hand, and then I play it from the warp or the drop, and then I negate the attack.
Yeah, that's huge.
It gets around counters, it gets around counter plays, like because it will still negate the attack. It doesn't say it has to actually hit the board. So, I would easily increase this card. This card's insane. So I don't think it's as good as the blue or the green one, but I'd say it's on par with the red and easily better than the yellow one.
Yeah.
So, and then super combo of choice. We've got the obvious Vegeta. You go on a 4 life turn 2 majority of the time.
Have them already live, so you
Yeah,
Discard,
it's
oh,
already
bottom deck
one.
one, draw two, always beautiful.
Yeah, it's like
Cycle through the
bottom deck
deck.
the cards that you don't need. Like
Yep,
from turn two onwards, I almost never need the Ravagers. So this would be a card that I charge or I bottom deck it
yep.
because turn two onwards, I just want to be throwing 30k battle cards. And then for my Goku of choice, I actually run this bad boy.
The man's got the flex right here. All winners.
Oh, the card is so pretty.
Love it,
Um,
love it.
and it's it's a very good turn one play if I'm going second
Yep.
because you swing with leader, mill three, overrun Goku, activate main, warp this, draw two, warp one, so you can warp your Gohans, you can warp your Dark Brolys, your Sky's the limit, warp your secret rare if you want for good reasons.
Yep.
And then this also makes the belligerent warriors live turn one as well. So if I don't see a Ravager, this is my go-to overwhelming turn one. After that, you almost don't need it. It's like you mill it, it's a Goku. And then to finish off that package, just one thwarting, one energy, 25k, warp something on swing, gets around blockers.
I mean, why not,
Yeah,
right? You know,
yeah, right.
you're playing black, and you got to play the good card, so
Yeah,
it's still a good
and it's
card
like
regardless.
if you manage to remove it, you can add it back off of Beyond All Limits Goku.
Yep,
So
that's
it's
huge as
like
well.
if you
Yep.
mill it, you can access it off of Goku.
So it's
And
kind of like
then
more of a chance of seeing it as well.
yeah. And it's like I'm heavily milling my deck. I just pray I don't verse other mill decks. So because
Yeah,
I was worried that I would be risking a deck out if I versed Janemba Mill. That was one of the decks I was scared of versing.
yeah,
Thankfully, there wasn't two. I think there was only two or three of those at the event itself. So
yeah. Lucky you didn't come and play with one of them because who knows? Maybe what turn three, turn four, you would have been milled out with
yeah,
the
I
amount of
mean, like
milling you do to yourself.
I'd like to think I could kill them before it got to that point. Like I would
Yeah,
hope they didn't have enough floodgates to stop me. But I didn't get to test it. So, and then last card of the deck, Cumber was my secret rare of choice.
now, this secret rare is I feel more of a which you have said yourself underrated secret rare, right?
Oh yeah.
This secret rare is really good. So, yeah. How do you feel it benefited you with this deck? So good, right? Like just taking over your opponent's cards, critting them to life.
So every single matchup I had, my opponent had to read my secret rare. Every
Yeah.
time I played this, they had to look at it. Because I'm like, I'm not going to explain it. I'm going to give it to you, let you read it, because if you misunderstand what this says, I take no responsibility.
That's the way you got to
Um,
play.
yeah. It's like there's that much text on it. It's very hard to keep track of everything it does. So I'm like, I'm not going to explain it and risk you mishearing me. I'm just going to give it to you. You can read it. Take as long as you need to read it because I'm only playing this when you're at two life anyway. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, this card's nuts. Like I'd say it's the second best secret rare in set 19. Better than Selmax, not quite as good as Gohan. But Gohan is insane, so it's
Yeah,
like
the
it
Beast
easily
Gohan's
warrants that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the
That's
five
such a
hundred
good
dollar
card.
price tag is very well worth it.
Yep.
Yeah, so this card has a lot of text on it. It's so activate main for 2 energy. If my opponent has 3 or more, I play this from my hand or my warp, which is where the Goku overarm is really handy
Hmm.
because I can overarm this and then warp my secret rare. So I now have access to this. I don't have to worry about keeping it in my hand, my opponent discarding it or whatever.
Yep.
And then I warp one of their battle cards, ignoring barrier on the play of this. So it's got another auto. If my opponent's life is at 2 or more, when this card is played, I look through their life, send up to 1 card with an energy cost of 7 or less from from their life to their warp. Then your opponent shuffles their life, and then I play up to 1 battle card with an energy cost of 7 or less from my opponent's warp into my battle area with its skills negated for the game.
Yep.
Now, This auto alone is nuts. I only play this when they're at 2 life. So when I play this, I look at their remaining 2, put them to 1, just on play. And then they can't token or sparking negate me because they're at 1.
Yep.
And then what I can also see what the last card in their life was. I know what card to play around because they don't get that knowledge. So if there's a super combo, oh yeah, sweet. I know you've got one less combo you get to use.
Exactly. Yep.
It's
Perfect.
like just having additional knowledge that my opponent isn't privileged to,
Mm.
incredible. Also, the card that I warp off of this doesn't have to be a battle card. I can hit unison and I can hit extra cards.
Which is huge too, right? So you can get rid of
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
negate or a counterplay or whatever they might have in there that they think
yeah. So like,
they might need or whatever, and you're just like looking at that, right, critting that card away, and it's just they're open for that last attack, which I mean, he's a big boy, he's 40k. Well,
yeah,
they're gonna have to deal with that.
it's like if there are some instances where I wanted to play this where my opponent had 4 life left.
Yep.
So if they're tapped out and they still got like 4, I'm more than happy to still play this card because I can look through their life and see if there's any negates in there.
Mm.
If there's a negate, I'll just warp that card. It's like, I'm just going to attack with this. You're not going to get a negate to your hand, so that's fine with me. And then I can swing with a double striking leader. I can swing with double striking overarm, bloody anything. Sky's the limit.
Yep. No, that's
But then
perfect.
it's got another auto to put a cherry on top. Once per turn, when my opponent plays a battle card with an energy cost of 7 or less, I warp one of my battle cards and I take control of the card that they just played.
Oh,
So this gets around barrier because I'm not choosing the card, I just take it.
that
This
is
is the
huge.
embodiment of steal your girl. It's like you play something 7 or less, I'm taking it. I
Yep.
don't care if it's got deflect or barrier, it's mine.
That's it.
But something that people forget because of the first skill, when you play something skills are negated, whatever you take with this card's skill, it still has its skills. It doesn't
Yep.
actually negate the battle card that they've just played.
Yep.
So if they play a blocker, I can steal it, gives me a blocker.
Yep.
If they play a triple attacker, I take the triple attacker.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just
It's
oh,
so much value that's looked at, that's like just underrated that that you've been talking about
yeah,
the same. But as you're looking at it, yeah, it is restricted to those black decks. But if you're playing a black deck that's well built like this one, and you got this guy in it as your secret rare, you can definitely do some damage. It's a big threat, so
yeah,
100% that this card is full worth its value.
yeah.
And like exactly like we've said 100 times already, that the card is so underrated that I'm surprised that the price tag isn't bigger on it as it is. But who knows what happens with the next set?
Honestly, like that, they announced the new Cumber leader last night.
Yeah, we
It's one
saw
of the
that.
reveals. I would recommend picking this card up as soon as possible. Like I've got a theory as to what the new Cumber deck will be,
Yep,
just based on experience with that type of deck. I honestly think their field spell is going to let you, if you use Overlord skills, you can bottom deck your opponent's battle cards that have Servant
yep,
to draw cards. I think the field spell will do something like that. And I think the new Fu Z battle card that we get, I think that card's going to have Overlord
yep.
because it makes sense. Fu's the Overlord of the Prison Planet.
Oh, that's
It
it.
makes sense. So
To
honestly,
go.
if you can pick up a Cumber, I recommend it because I think that deck's going to be really cool.
There you go, guys. You heard it. Do it now.
Do it now. Do it
uh,
before it's expensive.
so going through your Z deck now, I believe.
Yep.
Yep.
So Z deck. Um, so I play one of the Demagogue Z battle card. Uh, I don't think I ever played this card. It was just in there to fill a spot.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when did
Um,
this card come in for you?
uh, I think it might have come in against the Hachiak matchup, just because I can overwhelm Dark Broly, and then I can warp 2 of their battle cards. Because when this card is, when you play a card from your warp or you play a card using overwhelm, you draw a card and warp one of your opponent's battle cards.
Yeah, okay.
So
Gotcha. Yep.
if this card's out, over on Dark Broly, warp for Broly, warp for Demigra, also drawing a card off of Demigra.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
I think I might have played it there. I can't 100% sure recall that. Um, three of the Vegeta Z battle card. Self-explanatory. I want to awaken turn 2, so I almost only need my opponent to attack me once, so that I can awaken turn 2 if I see this and a Trunks. Um, and then the best card in the Z deck was actually the new Goku Z battle card.
Yep.
So this card's a lot better than people give it credit for. Like, this is a good generic black Z battle card. So it is a 2 energy for 1 Z, 15k critical. So if I don't have a belligerent in my hand turn 2, I can just play this, and then it's another crit. Um,
And that's
auto
huge.
burst, yeah. So it's got an auto burst 3 if my leader is a black Goku Xeno, so it's specifically designed for this deck.
Mm-hmm.
And I place a card from my hand to the bottom of my deck, I actually search out my Demigra Unison. So if I don't see this turn 1 or 2, I can play this and search this for my turn 3.
Yeah. That's big.
Yeah, and then it adds it to my hand, and then another activate main, which was very useful in a lot of matchups. Once per turn, for every 7 black battle cards in my warp, this card gains 5k power. So late game, I was playing this card, and it was a 30k crit just because I'd have 21 cards in my warp by turn 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge.
It's like, and because I'm playing this 30k crit, playing Dark Broly 30k, playing Goku 30k, yeah, you're just throwing a lot of big boys at your opponents by turn 3.
And what I love about the Vegeta is that can come in clutch too by bottom decking a card, drawing a card, you're cycling and then taking a life as well. So if you need to get to that awaken stage, you got that resource there too. It's all
Yeah,
solid. Yeah, it's all solid.
yeah. So I think the only time I went to turn 4 would have been against Hachiak
Yep.
for obvious reasons.
Yeah, yeah. Hachiak slows you down.
Oh, deck's a nightmare. I
Yep.
was saying to all my friends before the event started, before the side event started, should I put in cards to respect the Hachiak matchup? And everyone's like, nah, don't respect the deck, don't do it. It's like, you're not going to see it. I'm pretty sure someone's going to play it, but sure, I won't respect it. And then I got paired up against it.
Yep.
Yeah, every time. So,
Cool. All right. So looking at your side deck now.
yeah, so side deck. I was actually sideboarding 2 Supreme Kai's.
Oh, yep. The negate that warps a battle card too, higher than
Yeah.
500. Yep.
It's always live because you just need 3 cards in yours or your opponent's warp. So it's
Yep.
live turn 1 if I over them. Yeah, just sided that in for just rogue decks that don't give themselves barriers. So like if I versed Android 13, that brings out the triple attacker or the dual attack double striker that don't have barrier, so I throw that in against him.
Yep.
My Ss4 Goku Vegeta side.
Ah, yes, yes. The mirror. Good old mirror.
Absorbed. If you Z awaken, I'm gonna push through it. I don't care. It's I can add it off of my Beyond All Limits, so all I have to do is mill it or warp it, and then I have access to it. So if I put you to 1, this card's coming in, and yeah, I can easily get over that 100k.
I'm curious, what's the biggest power you have ever got on this guy?
I got it to 130
Yep.
in one of the games.
That's just huge.
So I still had some cards in my warp because I did some bursting and stuff afterward, just so I could filter
Yep.
before I swung. But yeah, 2 Deborahs. This was for any rogue hand control decks because I want to respect them. Started in against Green Cooler. I seen it. What's cool? I would have run more of this, except this card is also searchable off of Beyond All Limits Goku.
Okay. Yep.
So if I see it once and I discard it, play it again, draw two, attack, combo it, whatever it fits in my drop. Over on Goku, add this back to my hand. So if they make me discard, I can just do it again.
Yep.
So it's like it shouldn't be a 3 cost, but it's still fair. It's like it costs me an energy in a deck that doesn't need energy.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, this was my side card for the blue Gohan matchup.
Ah, yes, the protector of the people.
Yeah. It also came in against the because I did play an SS4 mirror match.
Yep.
So came in against that just in case because I didn't want to risk losing to the weenies because some people do play a lower to the ground SS4 build just because you got all your Ravagers and there's a lot of other little things.
Imagine,
So
imagine going into the event thinking you're the only player playing this deck, and going up against the only other mirror on the
I mean,
day out of like what
I
almost
was
130 odd people.
yeah, I mean
Classic,
when
classic.
I realized I was playing the mirror match, I was ecstatic. Like I sat down to and before I went to this matchup, one of my friends came up to me and said, "Dude, there's one other person playing this leader. He's sitting over at this table." I picked up my stuff, went over to him. I'm like, shook his hand, gave him a fist bump. I'm like, "Bro, I respect it. Nice choice, love it." And then a few rounds later, we had to verse each other. I'm like, "Oh, of course." So,
It had to be Murphy's Law.
yeah, it had to be. And it's like he told me that he actually only built the deck the night before. He just wanted a fun deck to play. So I'm like, yeah, I respect that choice. So
Wow, bringing a fun deck to a national scale of an event, it's good. It's also, yeah, I mean, yeah.
so it's funny that so I was originally only building this leader to play in the side event,
Okay.
but
Yep.
then in testing, I was having so much fun playing this leader, just testing it for the side event. Like, you know what? This deck's actually low-key really good.
Mm.
I'm gonna play it in main event, and I'll just play the same list in both events.
Well, I tell you, man, you almost did like really. I mean, you still, regardless, you did well, but you
Yeah,
almost like pulled off. Pull...
it's like imagine taking a Zenkai deck into main event and then doing incredibly well. It's like you wouldn't think it,
You wouldn't. No,
and,
no, not at all.
and it's like, I only got to do testing online because my closest locals is a 5.5 hour drive.
Oh wow. Okay, so you don't
So
get
it's
much
like
testing.
all my testing is from playing on Planet Vegeta's Discord server and the Turtle School Hermit Discord server.
Okay.
Oh, and shout out to my main testing partner, Peter Bokta. So,
Ah, Peter Boxer from Collected Company. Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes,
So
yes.
he's one of my main testing partners. So he got to verse this deck quite a bit.
Yep.
So he helped me fine tune it a little bit. But yeah, it was heaps of fun. So um, then on to the next sideboard card. Sideboarding Kye'S. This was a sideboard for pretty much any reactive deck. Yellow, it was good for Gohan. I actually didn't mind it against because if they do the whole counter play or activate battles, this punishes them. And since they don't have a large hand size, they can't really play through it too much.
Yep.
It was also for the red blue cooler matchup,
Yep. Cool.
just in
Okay.
case, because I thought I would see that deck.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Um. So, but yeah, so that was for that matchup.
Cool.
Um, and then last 4 cards, I was sideboarding 2 Shin, just for your standard red Gogeta. If uh, if they play that stupid 8 drop on me, so like if they win the dice roll and
Yep.
they get to turn 4, this card says I'm not taking that triple striking.
Yeah.
Um,
No, it's a
yeah,
solid card. It's a solid
very
card to stop it.
yeah.
Yep.
I feel like this card was just a staple in every side deck for the event. And then my saucy side card, I was actually sideboarding 2 of the SS4 Thwarting Gogeta.
Ah, nice. Okay. Yep. So did you have to feel you had to place at any time in the event, or I mean,
So
yeah, did it
this
come up?
card actually did win me one of my rounds in main event.
It's a solid
So
card.
I got to versus one of my friends playing yellow ape coup.
Oh wow. Okay. Yep.
So this card, even though there's a lot of blockers in the deck and a lot of negates and floodgates. Just the fact that because I'm guaranteed I'm getting to turn 4 against that deck because too many negates for me to deal with. Um, you just swing, ignoring barrier, warp 2 from hand, warp 2 from field, ignoring barrier,
Yep.
and then I'm only attacking the unison with this, so that they can't combo. That it's a lot hard to react. I'm basically trying to hand control them at that point. It's like I know I can't kill them through it, so I'm just gonna try hand controlling them at first.
Cool. Solid. Yep.
So
I like it.
yes, and that was my sub deck.
How's your side deck? Beautiful, man. Yeah, so running over everything, I think you had a pretty good day. Adelaide was such a great time. It was wonderful seeing you there too, Kai. Seeing all the people that we talked to online and everything. It was good to finally catch up and compete on that national scale of an event. Is there any shout outs that you would love to give to anyone else?
Yeah, so obviously shout outs to the two Discord servers that I get to test on. Shout
Yep,
out to the Peter. Um, big shout out to Southern Games in Adelaide, which is the store that I do travel 5.5 hours to participate in any pre-releases and any locals because I do try to go down there once a month to play in their local tournaments.
oh, that's
And
incredible.
yeah, it's easily the best store in Adelaide, in my opinion. I believe Marcus Cantasi also agreed with us on that point because he came down. So did Robert Reitzy. He also came down.
Yep,
So, but yeah, and meeting up with those two boys as well. That they were actually really nice people to catch up with. So
solid players for sure. Great people.
Soul players, very competitive. If you're in Adelaide, hit up the store. So
Awesome.
it's like practically live there.
Cool, man. No worries. Well, yeah, again, thank you very much for joining me and for sharing your profile on the channel. We really appreciate it. Um, to everyone at home, thank you very much tuning in. We love the support. It's wonderful. We'll keep the awesome, fresh content coming for the brand new 2023 new year. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe, hit that bell to stay notified, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, Kai.